everyone, I'm Lauren from My Something Beautiful Life, and in this video I wanted to give you an update with my Moterm A5 rings planner setup. This video is in conjunction with my mid-year planner update, so if you want to see all of the planners that I'm using right now, you can check out that video up here in the cards, and I will also link to it in the description too. I will also link to the video of the original setup of this planner if you want to see how it's changed. I like to keep this planner very functional, and so my decor in here is pretty minimal. So over here, like my little decor section, I guess, is pretty much the same. In this zipper pocket, I have my Erin Condren coupons. I also have another one back here behind this flap, and then I have some sheets of stickers back here too. Some of the functional things that I keep here is an ollie clip, paper clips, and post-it notes. So I use those three things all the time, and so I've just found it really handy to have some of them here easy to access when I need it. And then these are just some little decor things that are sentimental to me, and so I keep them there just so I can look at them often. Decor wise, this is a very minimal planner. In fact, this is kind of glaring right now, so you probably can't see it very well. But this is the only dashboard that I have in here. So the very first thing is like this clear flyleaf. I just have that to protect everything behind it. Then I have a vinyl dashboard with these cute little holographic bows on it. And then this is a dashboard that I printed, and then I also have this butterfly one in case I want to switch it out. And that's all I have in here right now. Oh, this piece of acetate with silver polka dots, but that actually just kind of sits back there. I don't know why, I just kind of like it in the back. But that's really basically it for what I have right here. Then I have this leather flyleaf that came with the planner, so I also have that here. So what I really like about this is that I can use this to just turn the dashboard over and I get straight into my actual planner. So it gives me the option to have the decor without it kind of feeling like it's in my way. I think that's why I don't like having a lot of dashboards in my planner, because it seems like I always have to turn them out of the way to get to my plans. And that's just friction for my planning and makes me not want to use it. That's one of the problems that I've had with ring planners before, is that I've just had so many extras in it, and even sections that I don't use or need. And just the extra in it makes me not want to use it. Like, it just makes it hard. So I'm really trying to only keep things in here that I am actively using, or just anything that I'm trying to keep track of that I need to be able to reference. And then the first page that I have in here is my planning routine. I want to create another one that is a self-care routine that is very similar layout that I could put back here. I don't often follow this, but I like having it as reference to just go back and see, and it kind of gives me ideas like what I'm supposed to be doing. So I like that about it. And you can see here I have a little paper where I've started to write down some self-care routine ideas. So I do want to make another one of these for the self-care routine. And then we get into my tabs. All of my tabs are white with black font. That's all they are. They're front and back. They're super simple. The only ones that are different are these ones that came with my planner. But I made these dividers custom for this planner setup. In fact, I had to add more and rearrange some of them when I changed my layout for July. I really love making my own dividers. It's so nice just to have the flexibility to change things up when I need to. And I'm actually really loving the simplicity of just the plain white dividers. These are not this one in particular, but this style of divider is what I made when I first got this planner, just because I really didn't know what else to do with it. And I've just loved them so much that I've just continued it when I made my new set. Okay, so something that has changed from the last time is I now have 3 top tabs. I have calendar, things to do, and projects. Now, things to do and projects used to be side tabs, but I moved them to the top because these are the things that I access the most. They're also front in the order. Nothing else comes before them. I mean, other than like this stuff, but when it comes to my actual planner, these are my priority because these are the ones I use all the time. In my calendar section, I actually have the inserts for the Erin Condren Daily Duo. I guess it's still called the Daily Duo, even though they're inserts, and so it's not 2 books, it's just a set of inserts. I only keep 1 month at a time in here, and so I only have July, and then I have like the beginning pages, which is pretty much just the title page and this. Like, that's basically all that's there before the July tab. So I have my July monthly, and then it goes into the daily pages. What I love about this layout is that, if I can find it. Okay, between every week, you actually have like a small weekly overview here too. And this has been super helpful. I don't need an additional weekly planner. This is plenty for what I need. There have been times when it's been really hard for me to use either a daily or a weekly. I can get away with it for a small amount of time, but then at some point I just need either more space in the daily or I just need a more general overview for a weekly. So this is working perfectly. I love, love, love this layout so much. I even love the layout of this exact page. I have space here to write in some things that are happening that day that I need to remember. And then I have space over here for a checklist. And I could either do this as a checklist for each day, or I could just make it one long running to-do checklist. And then of course I have a notes page too, which actually what I do here is I write things for the individual day on this section over here. And then on this side, I have been using it for one long checklist for the week. So that way, if there's things that need to get done that aren't specific to a day, then I can just write them here. But then things that need to get done by a certain time, they can go over on this side. And I love being able to see all of this in one view. And then of course it goes into the daily pages, and I don't decorate these very often. I mean, every once in a while I might throw down some washi tape or a sticker or something like that, but generally speaking, I don't decorate these. In fact, pretty much like my whole, I think my monthly is probably the most decorated. And even then, it's still like functional decorations. I think the only thing like really decorative I have are these little stickers. I love color coding with highlighters, and so I do that, and that kind of adds some fun color to it. Also, I love this colored bar right here. I think that adds a lot of fun to it. So it really doesn't need much decoration, in my opinion. I just kind of like it how it is. So anyway, on the daily pages, I of course use this as a to-do list. Sometimes if I need to break down certain categories, like if there's a lot of cleaning that I need to get done, or if there's things I need to do for work that need to get done, I will usually use this section and break it up into smaller sections. If you've seen the layout in the Daily Petite Planner, that's kind of how I use this page. Sometimes I will use it for scheduling, but often if I do that, it's kind of just to write something down. It's not because I need a breakdown of my schedule. I really don't have a lot going on that is like timed. And so oftentimes having a detailed list like this with the times on it is just unnecessary for me. But I do like to use this just for extra note space for my to-do list. So that basically is my calendar section. Then I have things to do. In this section, I kind of use it like a brain dump. Anything that I need to do, any ideas that come to mind that I want to remember, I can write them all here. I just recently rewrote this list, so nothing is crossed off yet, which is why it looks so pretty and new. But this has been very helpful in me for keeping track of things that I want to do sometime, but they really don't have a time limit or like a deadline, anything like that. And I just write down anything that comes to mind, and then I can just cross it off when it gets done. And then my next tab is projects. So the first one I have here, I can't show you all of the things that are in here, but just as an example, one that I do have in here is my planner setup. So when I was first creating it, I put this page in here that just had some ideas that I was thinking about, things I wanted to have in here. And as I used it and learned more what I would like to have in here, and as July approached, knowing that I was going to be adding in the calendar section, which I didn't have a calendar in here when I first made this. I had 6 categories here along the sides. 2 of them were the things to do and the projects, but I had no calendar. It was basically just a sectioned off notebook for reference. So as I learned what I needed to change in it, then I would take those notes too. Most of those are on the back. Another thing that I have in here, you can see this little post-it note. I have a trip coming up, and so I have a little note here so I can keep track of anything that goes along with that. I also have some plans in here for things that I want to make, like build. I want to build some shelves, and so I have plans in here for that. So it's pretty random, just whatever's going on in my life right then that I need some extra note space for. This is a good section for that. I actually should go through it and clean out some of the things that I don't need in here anymore. But this has just been a really nice section to have. And I could put this in the things to do. Like I could just make it a general category of like notes, but I find it a lot easier to divide up the projects versus the to-do list. It's kind of a different type of planning style, and so it's just easier for me to have them separately. Okay, the next section that I have is meal planning. So in here, I still have some of the Erin Condren Petite Planner meal planning pages that I cut up at the beginning. I still have some of those, and so I'm using those before I bring in the meal planning inserts that I got with my LifePlanner. I will use those eventually, but because I just already had these cut up, I wanted to finish using them. And then after these pages, I have just some meal ideas. And so these are just some really easy meals. I still want to fill in some crock pot meals here for the dinner. I also have a page for breakfast ideas, lunch ideas, dinner ideas, sides and snacks. So that's what's inside my meal planning section for now. I also have plans to make like freezer meal plans where I pick 5 or 6 meals and make a shopping list for all the ingredients that I need and kind of plan out the order to prep things, something like that. I want to make some versions of that that are like official. I mean, like I want to put them in the computer, print them out nice. And so once those are done, then they will also go in here for reference. My next section is budget. And right now it's just some note paper. I have good intentions of making some printables. We'll see if I do, because honestly lately I've just been using note paper again. I really haven't been using this tab right now. I plan to eventually, but I just haven't now. I've still been using my Happy Planner. So there's really nothing in here right now. But I have the section because I thought it might be nice to have it inside this planner. I used an A5 Rings planner for my entire budget last year. Like I had a dedicated planner for it, and I actually really liked that. And so I figured it would probably be pretty seamless to just have a section for budgeting in here because it's already a style that I'm used to for my budget, but I just haven't switched over yet. So right now it's just blank paper. All right, my next tab is cleaning. So I have this page, I've shown you this before. This is mostly just reference. There's really not a whole lot in here now. There's some note pages, but I just like having the section there for reference. And these are just things that I go back to every once in a while. My next section is emergency prep, and there is nothing in here right now. This is a work in progress section. So when I first set up this planner, I wanted to just jump into it. I didn't want to wait until it was perfect. And so I decided on my categories and I built out the planner, meaning like I made the tabs for it, but I didn't put any inserts in. And so that's kind of been my theme all along. Put the tab there so there's a place to put the information, and then as it comes I can put it in, but I don't want to wait to use it until everything is ready to go. Okay, and then my next tab is garden. So in here I have my list of things that I planted this year or wanted to plant. Everything highlighted is stuff that actually got planted. Actually, we did plant carrots and radishes too. So I've just been keeping track of some random garden things in here, like things that I want to do for the winter garden, things I want to buy for the garden. Anything related to there goes in this section. And then my last section is for church, which I can't show you what's in there. Most of that is confidential. But I have a few different responsibilities at church, and so I just use this section to keep track of any reference information and meeting notes, things like that, that I just will need to go back to. Okay, and then in the very back, I have this piece of, what are they called? I want to say like chipboard. This actually came with the planny pack that I got that was in this design, but I thought this was really pretty and it makes a really nice page protector. It's slightly smaller, I mean tiny little bit smaller than the actual A5 size, but it's plenty big enough for how I use it. And this just makes like a really good page protector in the back because it's so thick, it's so sturdy, it doesn't get bent. Like the fly leaves, I feel like they just act like the back page, but this actually really helps to keep the pages from getting damaged in the back. And then back here, I think the only thing I have is an envelope with an address on it. And then of course I have my pen here and I have a highlighter right here. Sometimes those are there, sometimes they're not, because honestly, whenever I'm planning, I have my whole jar of pens next to me, and so I don't really need to have pens and highlighters in here, but oftentimes they are here just in case I need one that's close by. I also do have some papers in this back pocket here, And these are just some more meeting notes from church, basically, that I haven't gotten into the section yet. There's some handouts that I got, things like that. So that is basically what is inside this planner. I am totally open to adapting it as I go, and that is just really helpful. I love the flexibility of the rings. Like I said, in the past, I've had some real struggles being able to use rings, but for whatever reason, it is working so good this time, and I just love it. I am really happy with how this planner is set up, and it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, which is just helping me to stay organized. So I love that about it. If you'd like to see all of the planners that I'm using right now, you can check out this video right here. That is my mid-year planner update. And if you like planner videos, I would love it if you considered subscribing. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.